Oh man, Coinbase are getting sued by the SEC. So guys, sorry I'm not in my normal setup again, still away on business. But I wanted to bring you this update on Coinbase because Coinbase shares are down 4% today in trading as the SEC are threatening legal action based on Coinbase's new product update. So Coinbase were looking to introduce their lend feature in the next coming weeks, and now they're being threatened by the SEC for legal action. Now, we know that the SEC are starting to crack down in the crypto space. We know Gary Gensler, the new chair at SEC, has a lot of experience in blockchain. He taught a course on blockchain at MIT, and a lot of people thought he was going to be great, right? He's going to really reduce regulation, but he's coming in strong. And one of his targets here is the stable coin. And we spoke about the rehypothecation of stable coins and the potential risk that multiple lending of stable coins can cause to the market. And it's interesting and kind of a good thing that Gary Gensler has this on his. So we know that companies such as Gemini, such as BlockFi are currently doing high interest savings accounts. Now, what does this mean? Well, what this means is you can leave your crypto in a wallet on Gemini, on BlockFi, and Coinbase wanted you to do this with the Lend platform as well, and earn interest such as 7-8%, where you're not going to get anywhere close to that in a regular savings account. And how are they doing this? Because they can then lend on the back of that to verified borrowers at high rates, okay? And that's how they're able to do that. So Coinbase was saying, look, we're working with verified borrowers, it's a safe platform, we back our USDC coin, which is a stable coin, to $1, and it's always going to be redeemable for $1. But we've made a video on this before. How much of that is actually backed up in low risk or risk-free assets? Is it actually redeemable? We know it's not in cash, but even then, are they in risk-free assets such as US Treasury bonds? But we know that a lot of these companies who operate these USD coins, the stable coins, and particularly we know this is done for Tether, are putting them in risky assets. They're putting them in risky assets to gather even more interest on that when they're borrowing it. So this rehypothecation problem of stablecoins is a real problem. It's on the SEC's radar, and Coinbase are now under potential legal action from the SEC over this new lend program. So shares are 4% down, not looking good for Brian Armstrong, who said, look, we've tried to make so many attempts to reach out to the SEC and they keep refusing our meetings. Apparently Gary Gensler, after he came into power, did arrange a meeting with them, and we know that this is high on their agenda list. So this Brian Armstrong said this has come as a surprise. Their chief legal officer has said it's come as a surprise, and it's really hit them from left field because they thought they're going to go ahead and release this feature into the market, and thereafter, everything should go smoothly. We've not heard anything from the SEC, and then bam, a few weeks before, legal action has been served. So definitely a step back for any Coinbase investors, something to look out for. But even from a wider crypto perspective, as a Coinbase investor, it probably doesn't look good that this is going ahead. But as a wider crypto enthusiast who wants this to really proliferate into mass scale and not be at risk of collapsing, it's good to see that the stablecoin issue is being addressed, because it's these type of coins that can create a similar issue to what we saw in the subprime mortgage crisis, where risky assets are being borrowed and borrowed and borrowed over and over again, rehypothecating, and that can lead to a collapse if you have a small percentage movement in Bitcoin or any of these cryptocurrencies. It can cause margin calls, liquidations, and the market could collapse. So there you go, guys, an update on why Coinbase is down 4%. Hopefully I can get back to my, I'm still traveling today, and hopefully I can be back in my normal setup tomorrow to give you some proper updates. But in the meantime, hopefully this gives you an idea of what's going on with Coinbase. See you in the next one.